so simply what serves our people best. They object, how are we to know that? But they'll soon interpret it so that the whole people is under arrest.
A judge's office in the court building in New Delhi. A foggy January morning. The streetlights are still on. The district judge is putting on his robe. There is a knock.
Come in.
Good morning, my lord.
Good morning, Singh. It's about the case of Hari Raghavan Shyam. I must admit the whole affair is a bit beyond me.
Sir?
I understand from the file that the shop where the incident occurred, Ismail's Darbar the restaurant, it's a Muslim one,
Sir?
and presumably Hari Raghav and Shyam are still members of Sankat Mochan Sangh,
Yes, sir.
which means that the party saw no reason to discipline them.
Yes, sir.
All the same, I take it the party must have instituted some kind of inquiry in view of the disturbance which the incident caused in the neighborhood.
I am not sure, sir.
I would appreciate it, Singh, if you would give me a brief before we go into court. Would you?
On 2nd September 2019 at 0815 hours, SMS men Hari Raghav and Sham forced their way into Ismail's Darbar in Jamia Nagar and after a brief exchange of words wounded Mr. Khan, aged 74, on the head. The material damage amounted to a total of 56,245 rupees. Cash looted was 1,05,496 rupees. Inquiries were instituted by the Jamia Nagar police station on 7 September 2019.
Array, Singh. That's all in the files. What I have in front of me is a single page charge sheet. This is the flimsiest and sloppiest made out indictment I've ever seen. Not that the last few months have been much of a picnic, let me tell you. But it does say that much. I was hoping you might be able to tell me a bit about the, background.
Hmm. Yes, my lord.
Well, then, let's hear it.
There isn't any background to this case, my lord, so to speak.
Singh, are you trying to tell me it's all clear as daylight?
Ha, clear as daylight, sir. No.
The restaurant has been vandalized, over a lakh looted in the course of the incident. Has it been recovered?
Not to my knowledge, no.
What do you mean?
My lord, I've got a family.
So have I, Singh.
Yes, sir. This Adil Khan is a Muslim, you know.
So one would infer from the name.
Yes, sir. There's been a rumor for some time in the neighborhood that there was a case of harassment and religious profanation.
Indeed. Involving whom?
Khan's daughter. She's 19 and supposed to be pretty.
Oh. Was there any official follow up?
Well, no. The rumor died a natural death.
Alright. But who set it going?
The landlord of the building, a certain Mr. Tripathi?
I suppose he wanted the Muslim shop out of his building.
That's what we thought. But then he seems to have changed his line.
At least that would explain why there was a certain amount of resentment against Khan around here, leading these young people to act from a kind of upsurge of national feeling.
I wouldn't say that, my lord.
Oh, huh? What wouldn't you say?
That Hari Raghav and Sham will try to get much mileage out of this religious profanation business.
Why not?
As I told you, there hasn't been any official mention of the name of the Sevaks involved. It could be anyone. There's a bunch of Hindu nationalists anywhere. Do you get me? And where do you find these Sevaks? In other words, the party doesn't want this dragged up.
Arey, why tell me about it then?
Because you said you'd got a family. To stop you dragging it up, any of the local witnesses might mention it.
I see. But I can't see much else.
The less the better, if you want my personal opinion.
It's easy for you to say that. I have to deliver a judgment.
That's right.
So we're left with a direct provocation on Khan's part, or else there's no way of explaining what happened.
Just what I'd say myself, my lord.
Uh, then, how were those SMS people provoked?
According to their statements, partly by Khan himself and partly by some unemployed man he'd gotten to sweep the garbage in front of his restaurant. Apparently, they were on their way to have a beer together, and as they passed the shop, there was this Parvez, the unemployed man, and Khan himself standing in the doorway and shouting vulgar terms of abuse at them.
Sure. I don't suppose they have any witnesses, have they?
Oh, they have. The landlord, Mr. Tripathi, said he was at the window and saw Parvesh provoking the SMS man. And Khan's partner, a man called Yadav, he was round at SMS HQ the same afternoon and admitted in front of Hari, Raghav, and Sham that Khan had always talked disparagingly about the party and Sevaks to him also.
Oh, so Khan's got a partner. Hindu.
Hindu, what else? Can you really see him taking on a Muslim as his front man?
But the partner wouldn't go and give evidence against him.
Who's to say?
What do you mean? There's no way the restaurant can claim damages if it can be proved that Khan provoked Hari Raghav and Shyam to assault him. And also, what about the loot?
What makes you think Yadav is interested in claiming damages?
I don't get you. Surely because he's a partner.
That's it.
What are you saying?
We found out, unofficially of course and off the record, that Yadav is a regular visitor to Sangh HQ. He used to be in the SMS and may still be. Probably that's what made Khan make him a partner. But what's more is that Yadav has already been mixed up in a similar affair, where the SMS dropped in on someone. They picked the wrong man that time and it took quite a bit of effort to get it all swept under the mat. Of course, that's not to say that in our particular case, this Yadav, well, anyhow, he's someone to be careful of. I hope you'll treat this as completely confidential, given what you said about your family earlier.
I don't quite see how it can be in Mr. Yadav's interest for his business to lose more than 2 lakhs.
Yes, the cash has disappeared. But anyhow, Hari, Raghav, and Sham haven't got it, and they haven't fenced it either.
Indeed.
Yadav naturally can't be expected to keep Khan on, as his partner if Khan can be shown to have acted in a provocative way. And any losses he has caused will have to be made up to Yadav. See?
Yes, I do indeed see. Yes, then I suppose the long and the short of it will be that Khan provoked the SMS men. It seems that the fellow had made himself generally disliked. Didn't you tell me that the goings on in his own family had already led the landlord to complain? Well, I know this shouldn't really be dragged up, but anyway, we can take it that there will be relief in those quarters if he moves out shortly. Thank you very much, Singh. You've been a great help.
The inspector leaves. In the doorway, she meets the official prosecutor who is just entering.
Good morning, Miss Prosecutor.
It's about the case of Hari Raghav and Sham.
Oh, I will make myself scarce. Have a good day.
Well, it seems quite a straightforward case on the face of it.
Right. I really don't see why your department decided to prosecute, if you don't mind my saying so.
What do you mean? The case has caused a deplorable stir in the neighborhood. Even members of the party have thought it ought to be cleared up.
I simply see it as a plain case of religious provocation, that's all.
Oh, rubbish. Don't imagine our indictments can be dismissed so lightly just because they seem a bit tersely expressed these days. I could have guessed you'd casually settle for the most obvious interpretation. Better not make a blunder of this. It doesn't take long to get transferred to the villages near the borders, and it's not all that cozy there these days.
I don't understand that at all. Are you seriously telling me you propose to let the Muslim Khan go free?
You bet I am. The fellow had no idea of provoking anyone. He is 74 and popular in the community. Are you then suggesting that because he's Muslim, he can't expect justice in the courts? That's some pretty queer opinions you're venting there, sir.
I was venting no opinions whatsoever. I simply concluded that Hari Raghav and Shyam were provoked.
But can't you see it wasn't Khan who provoked them, but that unemployed fellow, what's his damn name? The one clearing the garbage? Yes, Parvez.
There's not one single word about that in your indictment, my dear prosecutor.
Of course not. It merely came to the attention of the prosecutor's office that those SMS men had made an assault on Khan, which meant that we were officially bound to take action. But if witness Mr. Tripathi should testify in court that Khan wasn't in the street at all during the dispute, whereas that unemployed fellow, what's his damn name? Got it, Parvez, was hurling insults at the SMS, then it would have to be taken into account.
Is that what Tripathi is supposed to be saying? But he is the landlord who wants to get Khan out of his building. He is not going to give evidence for him.
Come on, what have you got against Tripathi? Why shouldn't he tell the truth under oath? Perhaps you don't realize that, quite apart from the fact that he's in the SMS, Tripathi has pretty good contacts in the Ministry of Law and Justice. My advice to you, sir, is to treat him as a man of honor.
Yes, yes. That's what I'm doing. After all, you can't call it exactly dishonorable these days not to want a Muslim shop in one's building.
If the fellow pays his rent,
I believe he's supposed to have reported him already on another matter.
so you're aware of that.
Mhm.
But who told you it was in order to get the fellow out? Particularly as the complaint was withdrawn? This suggests something more like a particularly close understanding, wouldn't you say? My dear sir, how can you be so naive?
My dear prosecutor, it's not that simple. The partner Yadav, I thought would want to cover him, now wants to report him. And the landlord who reported him wants to cover him. You have to know the ins and outs.
What do we draw a pay for?
Shockingly mixed up business. Let us take a break. Here, have a cup of export quality Darjeeling.
They drink their tea in silence. All one can hear is the clatter of crockeries and sipping for a few seconds. Then the judge gloomily reflects.
But suppose it's established in court that Khan never provoked anybody. Then he can go on and sue the SMS for damages.
To start with, he can't sue the SMS, but only Hari Raghav and Sham, who haven't a penny. That's if he doesn't simply have to make do with that unemployed fellow. What's his damn name? Parvez. Secondly, he may think twice before suing members of the SMS.
Where is he at the moment?
In hospital.
And Parvez?
Not sure. Missing.
Huh. Well, in those circumstances, I don't suppose Khan will be wanting to sue the SMS. And Parvez, if ever found, won't be particularly keen to make a big thing of his innocence. But the SMS aren't going to be all that pleased if Khan gets off scot-free.
The SMS will have proof in court that they were provoked by the Muslims or by the Marxists or by the Naxals or by the unions. It's all the same to them.
Not entirely. After all, the dispute between the SMS and the unemployed man did result in damage to the shop. Sankat Mochan Sangh isn't altogether in the clear.
Oh well, you can't have everything. You will never be able to satisfy all parties. As for which you should aim to satisfy, that's a matter for your sense of patriotism, my lord. All I can say is that patriotic circles are looking to the Indian judiciary to show a bit more backbone.
The process of law is getting a bit complicated these days, you must admit.
Of course. But you have an excellent remark by a minister of law to guide you. Justice is what serves the Indian people best.
Yes, yes.
Mustn't let it get you down. That's all. Now you've got the background. Should be plain sailing. See you later, my dear sir.
She leaves. The judge is not at all happy. He presses the bell. A court usher enters.
Go and find Detective Inspector Singh in the witnesses' room and bring her back here. Discreetly.
Exit the usher. Then the inspector reappears.
Singh, You nearly landed me in the cart with your idea of treating this as a case of provocation on Khan's part. Apparently, Mr. Tripathi is all set to swear that it was Parvez, the unemployed man, who did the provoking, not Khan.
So they say, my lord, so they say.
What's that mean, so they say?
That Parvez shouted the offensive remarks.
And? Isn't it true?
My lord, whether it's true or not, it's not something we can. I mean,
Listen to me, Detective Inspector Singh. This is a court you're in. Has Parvez admitted that, or has he not?
my lord, I wasn't there on the day of the crime. And after that, he went missing, if you know what I mean. In the official report of his deposition, Parvez supposed to have got something wrong with his kidneys. Says that he admitted it. It's only that
There you are, he did admit it. Huh, it's only that. Go on.
he was in the border security force and was wounded in the neck during a landslide. And according to Yadav, Khan's partner, he can't talk above a whisper. The fellow is speech disabled. So how Tripathi could have heard him from the first floor hurling insults? That isn't entirely.
I imagine it will be said that you don't need a voice in order to tell someone to fuck off, as they put it. You can do it with a simple gesture. It's my impression the prosecutor's department wants to provide the SMS with some way out of that sort. More precisely, of that sort and no other.
Yes, my lord.
What is Khan's statement?
That he had no part in it and just hurt his head falling down the stairs. That's all we can get out of him.
Oh god. The fellow's probably quite innocent and got into it accidentally.
Yes, my lord.
And it should be good enough for the SMS if their men get off.
Yes, my lord.
Don't stand there saying yes, my lord, like a damn metronome.
Yes, my lord.
Oh, what are you trying to tell me? Don't get on your high horse now, Singh. You must make allowances for my being a bit on edge. I realize you're honest. And when you advise me, you must have had something at the back of your mind, isn't it?
Hasn't it struck you that our deputy prosecutor might simply be after your job and is putting the skids under you, sir? That's what they're saying. Look at it this way, sir. You find the Muslim not guilty. He never provoked a soul, wasn't around, got his head bashed in by pure accident, some quarrel between a different lot of people. Then, after a while, back he comes to the shop. No way Yadav can prevent it. And the shop is about 2 lakh rupees short. Yadav will be just as hit by this loss because now he can't claim the 2 lakhs back from Khan. So Yadav, from what I know of his sort, is going to tackle the SMS about his money. He can't approach them in person because being in partnership with a Muslim counts as being sold out to the devil. But he'll have people who can. Then it will come out that the SMS goes looting money and vandalizing shops in an upsurge of national feeling. You can only guess for yourself how SMS is going to look at your verdict. And the man in the street won't understand anyway. They have already drained their brains in the WhatsApp chats.
Oh, what's that shocking noise? Just a minute, Singh. What's that racket about?
My lord, the courtroom is full. And now they are jammed so tight in the corridors that nobody can get through. And then there are some people from the SMS who say they've got to get through because they've orders to attend.
People are going to be a bit of a nuisance to you. I'd advise you to concentrate on Khan and not stir up the SMS.
All right, Singh. I'll have to think it over.
That's the idea, my lord.
She leaves. The judge rings insistently. Enter the usher.
Just go over and ask Judge Bhushan of the High Court if she'd mind looking in for a moment.
The usher goes. Enter the judge's maidservant with his packed breakfast.
You will be forgetting your own head next, Judge Sahib. What did you forget this time? Try and think.
Uh,
The most important thing of all, your breakfast.
yes.
You will be going off again and buying those sandwiches from round the street. And next thing, we'll have another stomach ache like last week because you don't look after yourself properly.
Yes, that'll do, Savitri.
Had a job getting through. The whole building's full of mob for the trial. They'll get it hot and strong today, won't they, Judge Sahib?
Yes, quite so.
Like at the meat shop, folks were saying, good thing there's still some justice left. Going and beating a businessman up? Half the SMS used to be criminals. It's common knowledge in the neighborhood. And that guy Hari. He's got a girlfriend who was a Randi till 6 months ago.
Savitri.
Sorry, Jat Sahib. And these people, they attacked Parvez, him with the neck wound and no job when he was cleaning garbage with everyone looking on. They are quite open about it, just terrorizing the neighborhood. And if anybody says anything, they lay for him and beat him senseless.
All right, Savitri, just run along now.
I told them in the meat shop, Judge Sahib will show them where they get off, right? All the good people are on your side. Now that's a fact, Sahib. Only don't eat your breakfast too quickly. It might do you harm. It is so bad for the health. And now I'll be going off and not hold you up. You'll have to be going into court. And don't get worked up in court. Or perhaps you'd better eat first. It will only take a few minutes.
Yes,
And
Savitri.
they won't matter. And you shouldn't eat when your stomach's all tensed up because you should take better care of yourself. Your health is your wealth. But now I'll be off. There's no need to tell you. And I can see you're raring to get on with the case. Oh, and I've got to go to the grocer's still.
Yes, you should leave. Savitri, just.
Oh, and there is Bhushan madam. Ram Ram madam.
Ram Ram, what's up?
I've got something I'd like to discuss with you. If you have a moment. I'm sitting on this pretty ghastly case this morning.
I know, the SMS case.
How do you know about that?
It came up in discussion yesterday afternoon. A nasty business.
Oh, what are they saying over on your side?
You aren't envied. What will you do?
That's just what I'd like to know. I must say, I didn't realize this case had become so famous.
Indeed.
That partner, he's said to be a rather disagreeable customer.
So I gather. Not that Tripathi is much of a humanitarian either.
Tripathi. Is anything known about him?
Enough to go on with. He's got those sorts of contacts.
Those sorts. Very high ones.
Very high. Listen. Suppose you leave the Muslim out of it and acquit Hari, Raghav and Sham on the ground that the unemployed man provoked them before he dodged back into the shop. I imagine the SMS might find that alright. Khan won't sue the SMS in any case.
There's Khan's partner, Yadav. He'll go to the SMS and ask for his money back. And then, Bhushan, I'll have the whole SMS leadership gunning for me.
But suppose you don't leave Khan out of it, then Tripathi will bring bigger guns to bear. To put it mildly. Perhaps you didn't realize he's being pressed by his bank. Khan is his life belt.
Pressed by his bank.
Come in.
Enter the usher.
My lords, I really don't know what to do about keeping seats for the Chief State Prosecutor and President of the High Court. If only their honors would let one know in time.
Clear 2 seats and don't interrupt us.
Yes, my lord.
Now that's something I could have done without.
Whatever happens, Tripathi can't afford to abandon Khan and let him be ruined. He needs him.
Yes, someone he can milk.
I said nothing of that sort, my friend. And it seems to me quite extraordinary that you should imply I did. Let me make it crystal clear that I've not said one word against Mr. Tripathi.
But Bhushan, you can't take it that way. Not in view of our mutual relationship.
Mutual relationship? What on earth do you mean a mutual relationship? I can't interfere in your cases. You have to choose for yourself whose toes you are going to tread on. The SMS or the Ministry of Law and Justice. Either way, it's your decision and nobody else's. These days, everybody is his own best friend.
Of course, I'm my own best friend. But what do I tell myself to do?
A bad business.
I'll do anything. Can't you see my position? You've changed so. I'll give my judgment this way or that way, whatever way they want me to. But I've got to know first what they want me to do. If one doesn't know that, there's no justice left.
I wouldn't go around shouting that there's no justice left if I were you.
No, oh no, what have I said now? No, that's not what I meant. I just meant that with So many conflicting interests, you know.
There are no conflicting interests in this land.
Of course not. I wasn't saying there were. Don't keep weighing every single word of mine on your scales.
Why shouldn't I? I'm a judge.
But Bhushan, if every word uttered by every judge had to be weighed like that, I'm prepared to go over everything in the most careful way. But I have to be told what kind of a decision will satisfy higher considerations. If I allow Khan to have stayed inside the shop, then I'll upset the landlord. The partner. I'm getting muddled. And if the provocation came from the unemployed man, then it will be the landlord who. Yes, but Tripathi would rather. No, no, no. Look, they can't pack me off to the border area. I've got a hernia. And I'm not getting embroiled with the SMS Bhushan. After all, I'm a family. It's easy for my wife to say I should just find out what actually happened. I'd wake up in the hospital if nothing worse. Do I talk about assault? No, no, no. I'll talk about provocation. So, what's wanted? I shan't condemn the SMS, of course, but only the Muslim or the unemployed man. Only which of the two should I condemn? How do I decide between unemployed man and the Muslim or between partner and landlord? Whatever happens, I'm not going to the border area, Bhushan. The whole thing's impossible. Hey, don't look at me like that. I'm not in the dock. I'm prepared to do absolutely anything.
Being prepared isn't enough, my dear fellow.
But how am I to make my decision?
Usually, a judge goes by what his conscience tells him. Let that be your guide. It has been a pleasure.
Yes, yes, of course. To the best of my heart and conscience. But here and now, what's my choice to be, Bhushan? What? Yes, Dilip, what have they put off? Ah, a game of chess. Who was it who ran? Chandrasekhar. The one who's just. Where did he get the message? Oh, oh, what am I talking about? Bye. I've got a judgment to deliver.
Hari, Raghav, and Sham, my lord.
One moment.
I've put the president of the High Court at the press table. He was quite happy about it. But the chief state prosecutor refused to take a seat among the witnesses. He wanted to be on the bench, I think. But then you'd have to preside from the dock, sir.
Whatever happens, I'm not doing that.
This way out, my lord. But what's your folder got to do with the indictment?
Oh yes, I'll need that. Or I won't know who's being accused, will I? Oh, what the devil are we to do with the chief state prosecutor?
But my lord, that's your address book you've picked up. Here's the file.
Yes, yes, yes.